Hey, Coach, so glad you found us. Couple things. First of all, subscribe. We love those people that subscribe. That's the first thing. Second thing is go over and check out teachhoops.com for coaches who want to get better. Let me help you win more games, less time, 30 plus years of coaching. Come join our community. It is unbelievable. There's nothing else like it. 14-day free trial. It's the only place you'll find that on the web. Let us help you become better basketball coaches. All right, let's head off to the video.
All right, welcome to High School Hoops, episode 146. Happy summer, everybody. Most people are at least on summer break at this point. So before we jump in today, I think I got Jake back from his first grade kindergarten / chaos world he lives in. So for at least for a couple months. So we're going to try to get a lot of podcasts done so you guys can hear Jake. But before we do that, I'd like to give a big shout out to our sponsors. First of all, Dr. Dish, the #1 shooting machine on the market. Mention High School Hoops, Coach Unplugged, Coach Collins, Wisconsin, whatever. And they'll give you $350 off. Also, go over and check out teachhoops.com for coaches who want to get better. It's a one-stop shop. Lots of cool things coming down. I haven't even told Jake about this. But I'm working on a specific defense and a specific offense and kind of a program thing that we do. So that's my tease. I'm not going to tell you what it's called. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but it will be quote unquote game changing for you. So go make sure you join before the 14-day free trial goes away, before the prices go up. All that stuff's going to change. I got some other surprises I can't tell you about that I was talking to Jake about beforehand that maybe might happen too. So you never know what's going to occur. Life's full of curveballs. Also, before I do that, I do want to give a big shout out to Coach Van and hoopsblueprint.com. Him and I kind of teamed together for a free webinar at hoopsblueprint.com. Go over and check it out.
That's a cool website.
It is a cool website. I think they did. I think he did most of it. So give hats off to him. It's really cool. He's got the best playbooks in the world, in my opinion.
Yeah, fantastic.
It's unbelievable. I mean, it's like you almost need an external hard drive to download the
material that you get for you really get quality material.
It's like 20,000 pages. Like it's
insane.
almost. Oh yeah, it's crazy.
It's almost like overwhelming.
It's overwhelming, but he's done a really good job about that. And then anyway, him and I teamed up with Teach Hoops and stuff. So go over and check it out, hoopsblueprint.com. That was just purely spur of the moment that I thought I'd.
That's right.
Okay. So what's our topic for today, Coach?
So when we do these podcasts, Coach and I text back and forth, and he basically says, Jake, come up with all the topics. And I'm like,
I absolutely 100%. Hey, when you have 3 podcasts, so how many a week I've never even actually thought about this. So 7, 12, so 13 podcasts a week go out.
That's your choice, though. That is your choice.
It is. It's 7 for Coach Unplugged, and then High School Hoops is just once a week. But then the 5-minute basketball coaching podcast is 5 days a week. So yes, before we jump into our topic and stuff, the funny thing is, I know the person that hosts my podcast. He runs it's called Zencast FM. Anyway, he's in New Zealand. I think he's in New Zealand or Australia. Anyway, Coach Unplugged was having a problem uploading to iTunes, and it's like I'd say it should go up at 6 a.m. and it was going up at like 8 a.m. He goes, Steve, you have like 1,000 podcasts. He goes, that might be the problem. I go, oh, I never thought about that. Like, he goes, I don't think that's the problem, but we're doing some digging on it. But that's, yes, lots, and they'll be there forever. Even when Coach Collins is off fishing John's Lake,
So I guess for me, I've been watching a lot of the NBA, and I'm like, I'm not even going to touch on it because I was getting so frustrated watching the Bucks and so forth, and why they don't do that and complaining.
Yeah, this isn't an NBA podcast, but we can really talk about the Bucks for an hour and a half.
Yeah, so we're not going to go there. And it was hard for me because I was thinking about, why isn't Giannis playing the post? Why aren't more people getting the ball inside? Blah, blah, blah. But I really thought about this summer and questions.
Why doesn't Giannis be able to shoot free throws and maybe a three-pointer consistently rather than take it to the rim?
So instead of being negative, I think we're moving on the uphill, as you said in the last podcast, of the post-COVID pandemic. And so I guess we're going to continue to figure out positive solutions to improve coaches' upcoming season. So basically everything that we're going to do in the future is not negative, but ways and visions and opportunities to better yourself as a coach and discuss certain things. And so the first one that really triggered us was really, in my opinion, and Steve's been around the game for so long, is finding that right summer balance and doing it intentionally, and how to do it, and where some of the misinterpretations sometimes coaches do, and some of the wrongs that they do, and some of the good things that they do. So kind of giving you guys an opportunity to just understand the right summer balance of summer basketball in your high school program.
So yeah, I agree. I think this is probably the most important summer for summer balance too. I can just tell you from my standpoint, that, you know, I can't go back to 2019 this year, like, or summer of 2019. I can't do it, for lots of reasons. But you know, yeah, just first of all, because our school's being ripped up and there's an $80 million referendum to kind of fix it up.
Well,
so
that's exciting.
It's
I didn't know that.
It's
very exciting.
It's putting lipstick on a pig. But anyway, let's be truthful. I don't care. This is my opinion, not the opinion of the Madison Metropolitan School District or any of its employees. There you go. There's my disclaimer, MMSD. No, they should have built new high schools in the back lot. They're basically using half the money for 150 million. You can build a new high school. They're spending half of that to put lipstick on a pig. Anyway, so I can't even run youth camp this summer. So I know my guys are playing, and I know they're out doing what they need to do as far as games go. So I can't, you know, I'm not going to go to Rockford. I'm not going to Chicago. I'm not doing some of the things that in normal years, we're doing two things this summer. We're doing skill work and we're doing open gyms.
So where are you going to host at a different gym?
We can get in the gym this summer. Next summer, I do not believe I'll be able to get in my gym next summer. So that's I think we're going to have to rent a facility. We have to do something next summer. But yeah, that's my issue. That's my issue right now is, you know, how I balance, because families have been cooped up together. So
right. So I think first thing I wrote down was having reasonable expectations based after COVID-19. Yeah. And I had this, and I'm having this issue with my 9-year-old daughter. And I think about my 8-year-old daughter, about even high school kids will have the same
Which
problem.
one is she? Which one is she?
But I even think about
she will not listen to this someday.
She doesn't listen to my podcast. But I look at
how old his daughter is.
My daughter is gonna be 8. Okay. But I thought of 9 because she's gonna be playing U9 soccer and she really enjoys it, but she's getting to a point where she is just overly exhausted because she's played soccer all year. And finally, the pandemic is finally unfolding. And now she has these opportunities to play with friends and all these other things that have not been there. And that's going to be the same thing for high school kids. And so I think we have to have reasonable expectations. Well, even though my daughter is 7, a 16-year-old still has this envision. Like, just remember yourself. And I think the key thing as a high school coach is put on your high school shoes for a moment and think of all the things that you miss. And you have to allow them to be kids, and you have to have that proper balance. So I think the first balance is having that very, again, not like a reasonable expectation for the summer. You just have to have
and for people listening, we're in Wisconsin in the US, and our spring sports are still going on, and will be going on almost to the 4th of July just because things got pushed back. So all of a sudden we're dealing with issues like last night we had an open gym. It was the first night we could have an open gym, and a couple of my baseball players were playing baseball. It's like, good, they should be playing baseball. I have no problem with that. But I asked my assistant where they were, and then, well, they got a baseball game tonight. It's like, okay, because I mean, it's not like they're playing, Legion baseball. They're playing for our school. Good. They should be playing for our school. I mean, so the overlap and the conflicts. Now, I can tell you that there's been some issues with people going on vacations, like being like in a spring sport and then going on vacation and missing their spring sport. That, if I was a spring sport coach, I would have issues with. That you're going on vacation rather than playing on your team, on your high school team. But the vacation is going to be another big issue this summer. And you know what? People feel cooped up. They got to go.
I think that's another thing is you're not in your season. And if players are going for a family vacation, you have to let it go and just encourage them and have a good time. Like, I think that you cannot be facetious and mean. You have to just encourage them to go out and be kids again. And I think that's the number one, because again, we always talk about this thing from an educator is building relationships. And when you start to be confrontational and not be reasonable, and especially after the pandemic, I think you're going to break that relationship and that trust and that great relationship that you have with that player when you start saying, well, why the heck are you going on a trip? Well, you should.
Right.
And
you should
be okay. Right. We'll be okay if I don't have you for a tournament. Oh, well.
I know this is next week is the first week we're doing our stuff in the gym. And I know there's a couple kids that are going to be gone 3 or 4 days because they're going something. It's like, good, go have fun.
Yes.
Like, I'll see you when you get back. Make sure you hydrate is basically what I said.
And as a coach, you have to do that and have that expectation, that reasonable expectation too, because you're going to end up suffocating yourself.
Right. Like, and it's also yeah, that's true. And it's also the issue of this is not the summer of 2019. Like, this is different. Like, it's not like I've been talking to them all spring and saying, here's what our summer schedule looks like. Here's what we're going to do. Here's what we're thinking. Here's the days we're going to go. Here's when we're going to play. Here's when we're going to do this. If I'd have been, if it was a quote unquote normal year, then okay, that you're going to miss, basketball for a month because you're going and doing this and this and this and this, and you have no time. Well, okay, then we have to have a discussion because, obviously there's extenuating circumstances, but we didn't even know if we'd have a summer. Like in March, like we didn't even know if we'd be able to get in the gym or be only 6 feet apart or whatever it was. So, what I say to my coaches and what I say to you have to give them a little grace. You have to give them a little grace because.
So, yeah. And then I think the other thing, I talked about that, and what I had written down here is the idea of not overzealous in games. I think that we want to play 5v5 all summer, and kids play like 30, 40 games in the summer, and that's going to make everything better. I think skill work, and we need to allow their legs to rest a little bit too, because, but a lot of these kids, I don't know, because you have a lot of players, you didn't have a season, so they're very ready to go.
I just need what I need them to do is I need them to run together.
Yep.
That's all I need. Like, we obviously need to get some skill work in, and they need to get shots up and whatever. They can come in and do. They don't need. I can sit on my computer. I don't need to do anything for that. They know what to do, so I don't need to do
babysit them.
I gotta sit in a hot gym and sweat. 3 pounds of sweat off me when
it's good for you.
It is good for me, but they literally, I am getting to know them. Like, as human beings, as basketball players, that's just me. I'm just getting to know them. That's all I'm doing at this point. And they need to get to know each other. Like, how can I pass? How can I play? How can I do this? How can I do that? So that's the issue for me. It will be interesting how I can pivot in the fall. So that's what I've been starting to think about too. It's like how can I maybe open the gym up a couple of mornings, in the fall? How is the pivot going to be different in the fall? I think is something that coaches got to start thinking about too. It's like, and again, I'm not telling football players coming in the gym in the morning. I'm just saying for the guys that aren't necessarily doing a fall sport or want to do something at night, how can I pivot and give them those opportunities? I think that's
close that gap. Yeah.
And close that gap.
The other thing is, don't forget about the awesome opportunities now with team building. These kids have been urging to do things. This is the best time in the world to do something outside the box. because they have been waiting to do things like that for a long period of time. So I think participation and team building and things like that would be extremely high. And those things are just as important. It keeps them wanting to come back for more.
I agree. All right. Anything else, Coach? I love that.
No, that was great. I think it's really important just to understand what we're dealing with and to have reasonable expectations as we move forward into the next season.
I think the reasonable expectations is a big thing. And if you've got any ideas or for future podcasts or have questions or anything like that, you can always reach out to me, steve@teachhoops.com. Have a great summer. Stay cool, everybody, and we'll see you next week.
Hey, Coach, hope you're liking the video. If you are, hit like down below. That helps us a lot for people to find us. That's the first thing. Second thing is make sure you subscribe and hit that little bell up above, and you'll get a notification every day when we put a new video up. And then go over and check out teachhoops.com for coaches who want to get better.